Alright, today I'm going to show you this Milwaukee M12 Impact Driver. This has been a very good tool to me. As you can see, it's aged. I've had it for a while. I believe they have a different model out now that's a little bit shorter, maybe a little bit more stubby, but this one is model number 2453-20, and so 1/4 inch hex impact driver. So this one has been a very good tool to me. I've used it for a lot of things, and I love it. It's been very good to me, and so I'm going to give you my thoughts on it, and you know, some stuff that I use it for, and you know, we're gonna kind of show you. This is the M12 drill driver. This is actually a newer one because my old one had an issue with it. Something happened with the motor. It stopped working, so I sent it in Milwaukee, and they sent me a new one, which was great. Very good with their customer service and their warranty. But I've never had any issue with this one. It's the original one I bought, and it has been great to me. So basically the way this one works is you have the little hex bits that you can slide in here, and then they lock in, and then when you want to take them off, you just pull this outward and then they slide off. And so this one has 2 speeds. So this is speed 1, and then this is speed 2. So, you know, depending on what you're doing, you know, you use either speed 1 or speed 2. So I use this one a lot with these 2 little boxes of bits and pieces that I have here. So this one is just all kinds of bits. So it came with a few drill bits, and then it came with you know, one of these magnetic chucks for all of these little bits. So these are all, a couple of these are square drive, then you have Allen heads, then you have your Torx heads, flat, regular Phillips heads, and then you have some longer ones here, and then you know, obviously this is even a longer one, and it comes with a few of these nut driver 1/4 hex pieces. So you know, the way these work are, you know, I just take it out, get it out. So you take this out, you get your tool, and then slide it in there, and it's locked in. And you know, this is really good for fastening screws. So basically what it does is, since it impacts, it's a little more efficient than, you know, a drill driver like this. This is the king if you're using drill bits. So this is a box of drill bits, but these are 1/4 inch hex drill bits that they actually hook into here. So you can use these in here or into this one here, but we're talking about this one today. And so, you know, this is great. You put it in there. Let's see if I can get it to focus on this thing. So I don't know if you can see that or not. The issue I have with this one here is when you're using something like this, it tends to have a little bit of wobble in the bit. So let's see if I can get it to focus again, and then watch the bit. It kind of wobbles. So you see that tip piece right there. See how it wobbles? So this isn't the perfect piece if you're using drill bits. These drill bits actually work much more efficiently in an actual drill driver versus the impact driver, but this does work, but not as well. So like if you're drilling into wood, this is no big deal, but if you're going to drill into metal, I don't really recommend using this with a drill bit. It's just not as efficient, like I said, because there's a lot of wobble with the hex bits here. But you know, this has many uses to begin with. So you can use the drill bits, you can use Phillips heads, and flatheads and all that stuff, or I have these little adapter pieces here. So this is a 1/4 inch socket adapter, 3/8 inch socket adapter, and 1/2 inch socket adapter. So you can actually take this piece here, slide it in there, and then you can stick your socket on the end of this. Let me grab a socket. Alright, so here's a 3/8 inch socket, and you know, you slide it on the end here, and then boom, you can actually use this as a, you know, kind of like a regular impact, but you know, it's got the quick chuck on there. So this is obviously not as powerful as an actual impact, just because of the power transfer between the 1/4 inch hex and the actual piece here. So it's not going to have as much torque, but it does work. And initially when I just had this, you know, it worked on a lot of things. It doesn't really work on lug nuts. It's not quite that powerful. I think it could, but it's definitely not very efficient at it. But you know, these are little Tecton sockets, 3/8 inch. And then I find myself a lot using these little nut driver bits. I wish there were more sizes available, at least through Milwaukee. I'm sure I could find some online, but Milwaukee sells these. This kit actually came with 4 of them, but I think they sell like 6 or 7 of them or whatnot. You can get a pack of these individually, but these are just common sizes. But I tend to use these a lot for like small bolts or something like that, that, you know, you would use, you know, like a nut driver for, but you can just stick it into here and it just makes quick work of things like that. And so I love the versatility of it, being able to switch between all of this stuff that I have in here. So I've got both of these little kits. And alright, so I wanted to show you how this, you know, drill kind of does with the different few different things. So I've got 2 2x4s here, and I have a 3-inch wood screw, and so I've got the drill with the Phillips bit on it, and so we're gonna go kind of over some of those things I was talking about with the different settings and show you what I mean about how they work. So I have it set to speed setting 1, and then I have it set to setting 10, and we're going to try and see if we can drill this 3-inch screw into this wood. So that was setting 10. So if I turn this down to setting 2, it won't go any further. So we'd have to turn it up. So that's speed setting 5, and it still won't go in, but you can see, you know, if you were using that on something else that was a little more delicate, maybe a very thin screw and a delicate piece of wood or something like that, you know, you would want a lower setting. But you know, we're going to turn it up to the drill bit setting now, and and so it goes all the way in fine, and that's on setting 1. Let's try setting 2. So, new hole, and then this is speed setting 2, and it's on full power. So you can see that goes in a lot faster, and you know, it works. Things I don't, you know, the reason I don't like using a drill as much is because you have to put a lot of pressure on the screw while you're drilling. You know, so I was doing it with 2 hands with this thing, and that's kind of what you get when you're using a drill versus, you know, if I take this same bit and all, you know, in all the same situations or whatnot, and I put it in an impact driver, you know, an impact driver with the screw. Let's get it started. So I can take it with 1 hand and zip it down, and the impact makes it easier to put the screw in versus the drill. So I'm not sure if that's coming across. Maybe it's so simple, but you know, when I was using this drill, when I was using the regular drill, and you go, you know, that the impact driver was on full power, and this is going to be on full power here. The drill is going to be on full power as well. If I try to do it with 1 hand, you know, the exact same drill bit and everything, you can see there's metal shavings all over the bit, and now the screw's getting rounded out. So it just takes a lot of pressure. You have to put down a lot of pressure on a drill to get it in there versus an impact. But the drill does far better with, you know, actually, you know, with drill bits, obviously. But let's see if I can show you that. Alright, so we've got a drill bit. This is a 1/4 inch size drill bit, and we're going to drill into the wood, and then I have a piece of metal. We'll drill into the metal to see the differences as well between the drill and the impact driver. So with the drill, you know, you put it in the wood, and it, you know, it goes right through it, not a problem. So that's not a big issue. And it's the same thing with the impact. Now the impact's going to work. The impact's going to work a little bit different. When it starts to get under pressure, it's going to actually, this can still drill, but once it starts to hit some resistance, it starts impacting. So let's see if we can get it to do that. So once you get deep down in the wood, it starts going into, you know, impact mode, and you know, but it still works in a piece of wood. So let's switch over to a piece of metal, and I'll show you the differences between the 2 drills in metal. Alright, so we've got this mower blade here. It's about a 1/4 inch thick, and I've got the 1/4 inch drill bit on here, and this is the actual drill. And let's go ahead and see if we can drill through this blade. It's probably really tough steel, but we'll see if we can get through it. Alright, so about halfway through, and the drill bit is extremely hot, but let's see if we can switch it over to the impact. and we'll try to do the same thing with the same drill bit. Alright, so let's take an up close look at this mower blade. Alright, so this one right here was just a little test spot, but this is what I got done with the actual drill. You can see how deep that is. And then this is what, this is the hole from the impact driver versus the drill. So you can see the drill went through a lot easier. It didn't drill all the way through, and of course the impact driver didn't go all the way through. With a drill bit this big, and this steel on these blades is really heavy duty, so probably hardened steel. So I was putting all my weight on these two, and I could have easily gotten through this mower blade with the drill, but I didn't want to drill into my table here. But just to kind of show you, the impact's not as efficient with actually drilling into metal. So yeah, just kind of the differences between the two. Drill driver versus impact driver, and you know, they both work okay. The impact driver works better for fastening the screws, and the drill works better for drill bits, but they can both do both tasks. So if I put a really thin drill bit on both of these and tried to go through the same piece, I know they would both go through it, but you know, it really makes a difference when you're trying to use a bigger drill bit. For some reason, the impact driver just doesn't work as well. And so that drill bit that I had on there was a brand new drill bit. Has not been used on anything, and so you can see, you know, drilling through this steel right here is really hard on drill bits, and the drill did it relatively well. It was getting hot, but you know, the bit was getting hot, and so the impact driver here, it just, you know, it doesn't go through as well. Smaller drill bits work in metal, but not larger ones. It's just not as easy. So that's why I like the drill for drill bit purposes, wood and metal. And it does work for drilling in screws, but like I said, you have to put a large amount of downforce on the drill, or it tends to jump off. So you're trying to drill downward, and as you're drilling, if you don't put enough down pressure, it jumps off of the screw. And so let me see if I can show you the screw. So this is the screw that I went to use with little pressure on the drill, and you can see how it's rounding out the screw head here versus you know, like this. This is what it should look like versus what it does look like. Let's see if it'll focus in. Yeah, there you go. So the left is the, you know, a new screw, and the right is a, you know, after using the regular drill and not putting a lot of down pressure, it tends to jump off, and then you can round out the screw. But the impact driver, it just works better. It may put the screw into the wood faster, maybe just by a little bit, but you know, the drill does work fast as well, but it's just not as, it takes more effort to use the drill versus the impact. And then you know, like I was saying about the metal, the drill bits on the actual drill driver work better in metal than the drill bits on the impact driver. So that's kind of the comparison between the two. And you know, let me know your thoughts if you have the same kind of experiences with the two. But you know, I have both of them, and I think they're both great to any arsenal for your power tools. They're very, very handy, and I would definitely recommend this to anyone that does, you know, DIY stuff around their house, or if you're some kind of contractor. You know, I'm sure if you're a contractor, you've probably heard of these, or you might even use this in particular, but this is very, very useful. And like I said, it's been useful to me, and I think it's great. The M12 platform is pretty good. So this is just a 2 amp hour battery, but you know, I have some 4 amp hour batteries I can stick in here and get a little bit more life out of them. But yeah, I think that these are very, very good, and the newer ones are probably even a little bit better. They probably have a little bit more power, and like I said, I think they're shorter. So if you have one of these, let me know your thoughts in the comments, or if you have any questions about it, let me know. I can probably answer them if you have any. And if you like this video, consider liking it, and check out my channel. Consider subscribing to my channel. I've got more reviews on other Milwaukee tools, so I'm going to be posting those as I go. So if you're subscribed, you'll get a notification about it, and you can check them out. But yeah, thanks for watching, and I hope you liked it.